Hello everybody, how are you all doing? Okay, we're checking one out today from Most Amazing Top 10. This says the top 10 scary black holes NASA fears could end the world. Let's check it out.
Is there anything more mysterious and foreboding in the vastness of space than a black hole?
Scientists still aren't sure exactly what happens to the material that gets sucked into these things, and hopefully we'll never have to find out firsthand. Anyway, sit back, try to relax, as we bring you some of the scariest black holes ever observed.
Recently discovered within a dwarf satellite galaxy that goes by the name of Leo 1. Now, a satellite galaxy basically just means it's a smaller galaxy caught in the orbit of our own galaxy. Think satellites orbiting Earth, but scaled way up. The black hole was discovered in late 2021 by an independent team of astronomers who had been scanning the small galaxy in order to measure its levels of dark matter. Upon closer inspection, they found what they considered to be an unusually small amount of dark matter, but as I mentioned earlier, an unusually large black hole sitting at the center of the galaxy. You see, compared to the Milky Way, the Leo 1 is considered to be quite tiny. But the kicker here is that the black hole discovered within its parameters is almost as large as one found in our very own much larger galaxy, meaning this is an unprecedented mass ratio that up until now had never been seen before. Now, don't worry too much though, as this particular black hole is currently 830,000 light years away. But that being said, if Leo 1 were to begin sinking into our own galaxy, it is entirely possible that this recently discovered black hole just might collide with one of the Milky Way's very own, resulting in, well, let's just say it wouldn't be pretty.
So my first pick is the very recently discovered Scary Barbie. Imagine if we all met our end getting swallowed up by a black hole named Scary Barbie. What would the extraterrestrials watching us think of that? Looking at us through their highly advanced telescopes, light years away. Planet designated Earth has undergone absorption into cosmic singularity, denoted as black hole, bearing nomenclature akin to one of their curious humanoid toy entities known as Barbie. And they'd all burst out laughing. I feel like we're kind of setting ourselves up for failure with that one. But this Scary Barbie formation is no joke. Scientists first observed this supermassive black hole devouring a star, sucking it in and ripping it apart in a process known as spaghettification. Apparently, Scary Barbie really suits its name. It's super vibrant, luminous. Danny Miloslajevic, an assistant professor of physics and astronomy, said that it is, quote, the most energetic phenomenon I have ever encountered.
So it sucked another star right into it.
Supernovas combined, and supernovas are some of the most luminous objects in the sky. Another fascinating thing about this thing is that it's classified as transient, meaning it can show up or disappear not over the course of centuries or millennia, but in mere hours or days. Now, most transients like this aren't around for very long, maybe a handful of months at most, but Barbie's been around longer
most of them are in San
than
Francisco.
any other observed
Not sure that's what he was referring
and
to,
is
Gene.
apparently still evolving.
Well, that's one Barbie I definitely don't want to party with. Next on the list, we have Sagittarius A. And before you switch the video, no, I'm not talking about astrology, but rather the supermassive black hole that sits right smack bang in the center of the Milky Way. You know that place where Earth is? Okay, before you start doomsday prepping, I will let you know that this particular black hole is not actually super active, meaning it's not gobbling up the stars and planets around it nearly as fast as some of the other black holes discovered in recent years. However, it is growing, more so in relation to the natural growth of the galaxy, meaning its size in relation to the size of the Milky Way has pretty much remained the same. So again, no need to panic for now. While Sagittarius A is the largest black hole within our own galaxy that we're currently aware of, I'm happy to report that it's not the closest, as it sits some 26,670 light years away from Earth. However, having said that out loud, I'm not really sure it's all that comforting.
All right, next up on the list is
I don't think it's something we'll
This
ever
one sits right at the
experience,
center
so
of the galaxy Virgo A. So luckily, it's not anywhere near us, but the universe can be a pretty unpredictable place. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not a scientist, but when I read that this thing is billions of times larger than our sun, Yeah, it kind of freaks me out a little.
Yeah, that's
right?
scary.
In fact, it's about 6.5 billion times the size. I don't even know how to visualize a number that big. Now, what makes this black hole particularly famous is that it was the first black hole ever to be directly imaged by the Event Horizon Telescope in 2019. The Event Horizon is the boundary around a black hole where beyond it, nothing can return. The image showed a dark shadow surrounded by a ring of bright, hot gas swirling around the black hole. The dark shadow is where the light gets trapped by the black hole's gravity.
Now this next one hits
That's crazy
just
to say
a
it's
bit
that
closer
much
to
bigger
home than
than
the
the
rest
sun.
of them. And
We
by
can
that I
see
mean
our
it's quite
sun.
literally
That
the
just goes to
closest
show
black
how
hole to
much
Earth that
bigger
has been discovered to date.
the universe
Going by the
and
name
everything
of
else
Gaia
is. It's infinite.
BH1. When it was first discovered in 2022, scientists were both shocked and bewildered as this black hole sits 10 times closer to Earth than previous record holder, sitting at a mere 1,500 light years away. And if that weren't already uncomfortable enough, the Gaia BH1 has a mass of 9.62 times the mass of our sun, which of course gives it a large gravitational pull. In fact, our bewilderingly close dark companion actually has a star-like sun of its own that orbits around its massive parameter. While scientists deem that this giant is not of any immediate threat, it should be noted that its proximity to Earth alone makes it an incredibly ominous neighbor, as should the black hole decide to change its predominantly dormant ways, it could spell disaster for us all. What would you do if you knew it was your last day on Earth?
All right, this next one's pretty alarming as
Pray.
well. Its designation is J11447.77-4. It goes on and on, but it's J1144 for short. Just still not a very catchy name either. This one happens to be the fastest growing black hole of the past 9 billion years. That's the alarming part, in case you weren't sure. So what does this thing's diet consist of? Well, it devours the equivalent of one whole Earth per second. It was first observed by scientists in
how
June
big
of 2022.
all that is
and
out
it was
there?
3 billion times larger than our sun and just continues to grow. This also makes it 500 times bigger than our very own Sagittarius A, discussed earlier. J1144 is also 7,000 times more luminous than all the light in the Milky Way combined. It's so bright that you don't even need to be a pro astronomer to see it. Just grab a telescope that's at least 30 to 40 centimeters across. Try that. Let us know how it goes for you in the comments.
And of course, we had to include none other than Gaia BH2. Sound familiar? Holding the record for the second closest black hole to Earth, Gaia BH2 comes in at just about 3,800 light years away and just about 2,200 light years away from Gaia BH1. With a mass of 8 times that of our sun, we are counting our lucky stars that as of most recent monitoring, Gaia BH2 appears to be mostly dormant. But hey, new year, new black hole, right? Now, because of its proximity to Earth, along with its proximity to our other big scary friend, Gaia BH1, while it's not probable, the risk of Gaia BH2 ending the world lies in the possibility that the two mass-packed giants collide. And if that happens, well, simply put, the violent process would send ripples surging through the very fabric and time of space. I mean, I'm all for a day out on the water, but that's one riptide I definitely wouldn't want to get caught
it would
up
destroy
in.
everything.
All right, next we have V404 Cygni. So this is a binary system in space that includes a black hole and a companion star. This system became kind of well known in the scientific world because of some pretty intense and honestly spooky behavior. So back in 2015, V404 Cygni was especially active. NASA's SWIFT satellite detected it emitting powerful X-ray bursts. These bursts were so strong that they temporarily made V404 Cygni one of the brightest objects in the sky. Now, what makes this thing intriguing, but kind of scary to imagine, is the process behind this burst of activity. As material from the companion star gets too close to the black hole, it doesn't fall in smoothly. Instead, it forms a hot, swirling disk around the black hole, and during this process, it releases a huge amount of energy, including X-rays. And these X-ray flares are kind of like space fireworks. That meant the black hole was on a feeding frenzy of sorts.
Get ready, because next on the list we have none other than TON 618, aptly named as it is the largest black hole to have ever been observed by scientists. Discovered in 1957,
I wonder why they don't
TON
just give them
618
names
sits
and
at
leave
a
the numbers
comforting
out of it. That makes it confusing
10.37
to
billion light years away from Earth. So while not the furthest, that title goes to an unnamed abyss, which sits at an even more comfortable 31 billion light years away from Earth. The TON is still pretty far. The bone-chilling mass-hoarding phenomenon was first observed from an observatory in Mexico, and because of its active nature, it has been closely monitored since then. Now, I bet a ton of you watching are just dying to know how big this thing really is. Well, okay. TON 618 is estimated to be a mighty 66 billion times the mass of our sun, which means that even though it is pretty far away, it could just as easily swallow our entire solar system whole without even so much as a drink of water if it really wanted to.
Wow.
The fact that we've never actually seen this happen might sound comforting, but the truth is, that means we really just don't know what we're up against.
All right, and finally, we have Cygnus X1. This has to be one of the most famous black holes ever observed. It was discovered during a rocket flight in 1971. Rush made a song about it, because of course they did. Like, that news came out, and Geddy Lee was like, we have to write a song about this. You could say Rush, I guess, wrote the song in a hurry. It's also been referenced in Futurama and Godzilla. Cygnus X1 is another duo featuring a black hole and a massive companion star. This one was one of the first strong black hole candidates ever identified. Cygnus X1 consists of a star about 20 times more massive than our sun, and right by it is a black hole. The black hole is stealing material from the star, forming a swirling disk of super hot gas around it. So I could see the jokes in the comments. Super hot gas, black hole. The material swirling into the black hole gets incredibly hot, emitting X-rays that can be detected by telescopes in space. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video.
I'm Hannah.
Well, a lot of that stuff's way beyond... Excuse me. Lost my light there. Real professional, Gene. Real professional. I'm back. Okay, yeah, that stuff's way, way confusing to me. I don't know that I understand all of it, but that just goes to show how big the universe really is and everything else out there. All the other universes, I guess. I guess there's many of them. It's just infinite. It goes forever and ever and ever. Ever and ever and ever. Now, how about a joke? I got something in the mail today. It said, "This is not a bill." I opened it up and it said, "That was the envelope. This is the bill."